Good morning, folks. We're back out at Dad's shop again today, and I got a couple of little, what I would say are oddball lanterns to mess with today. Got two different kinds of oddball little lanterns, and both of them, when I bought them, I just happened to get two lanterns each time that I bought one. So the first one is these little Gaz Camping GAZ International. They're a French-made little butane lantern. I bought two of these off eBay, and the other lantern that I've got here I bought two of off of eBay, and I've had both of them for probably 6 to 9 months. And I never had the fuel canisters for either one. They're little butane lanterns. And I've watched on eBay trying to find the correct cylinders for these. You can get these ones, and I ended up buying some of this size that came with some of this size. This is the correct size for these little lanterns. But these are really hard to find and very expensive, and I got two of them that are awfully rusty, but they're not leaked down. So they should still work fine. But I've got a friend at work that does 3D printing, and where the cartridges go in, they just go right in there. So I'm going to take the bottom off of one of these to him and see if he can make me a different bottom that will fit these taller cylinders, because these ones you can find for a fair price. These smaller ones, I don't know if they've been discontinued way longer or if they just were never as popular in the first place, but they are hard to find. So I'm going to have my buddy that 3D print stuff see if he can make me a different bottom to replace this one so that I can use these larger canisters in there. But for right now, I got two of these very rusty small ones, and I will see if I can get it working with one of those. But I also think that this is going to be of the two kinds of lanterns I've got out here today, this is going to be the one that's going to be easier to get going. So first off, I'm going to work on one of these little lanterns. These are a Coleman Patio butane, or a butane patio light. And they are, I'd seen them online. I ended up buying these two on eBay real cheap. And they are the chintziest thing I've ever seen with a Coleman name on it. I've got two of them. I guess I'll grab this other one out of here, because this one, I'm pretty sure, has never been fired. It's all put together. The other one is I don't know, maybe that's never been fired either, because it's still got cardboard up under there. Maybe this one's been used and that one's not. I really don't know. We'll look a little closer here, but this one is in pieces. That one's all put together. I'm probably going to leave that one alone and see if I can put this one together and make it work. But these are the fuel cartridges that those use, and they are also very hard to find, and they are just different enough that you can't use either size of just a standard butane in there. I've seen online some people are 3D printing spacers to put underneath of these, and I would assume that would probably work, but I ended up finding a couple of these that weren't priced astronomically online, so I bought them. to try this out. But I definitely spent more money on fuel cartridges than I did on the lanterns for both of these sets of lanterns. Well, let's dump all the rest of the parts and pieces out of here. See if maybe we can put this thing back together and possibly make it work. I mean, I've got one that's already put together there that I can use as a template, but they are unbelievably chintzy. They do have a spark igniter on them, it looks like. Boy, those are... We'll get the camera in here a little closer. Those are definitely the chintziest thing I've ever seen with the Coleman name on it. They are just plastic. It's got a igniter that, once it's put together, should jump a spark over close to the mantle. The mantles that these take are about ½ inch tall. They are tiny, tiny, tiny. And they made a few different, I can show on there, they made a few different models that take those, and I tried finding a couple of the other ones online to do a video with all of them, but boy, when you do find them, they want like $300 for them. I'm not going to spend that kind of money on a lantern that's probably just as chintzy as this is, so I don't even know. Maybe this one won't be the one to get going, because I don't even know if this one's even all here or not. Let's pop the top off of here and look. Maybe it is. Maybe this one's never been assembled even. All right, let's see here. We got pieces and parts in here. Looks like that's my generator. Not high quality by any means. Okay, looks like that's how that part goes. You know what? This one has instructions in it. Maybe I should look at the instructions.
Well, that might help.
Maybe they came all disassembled like that. Well, it's got an exploded view. At least that shows what order all the parts go together in. Oh, to set up. So maybe that one's been used and this one hasn't. I don't know.
That makes more sense. But, well, not necessarily.
So it does have some instructions. Set up. Remove components from package. That's a good start.
Oh, you did good on that.
Yeah. Remove burner tube and install. Well, it shows it with this top part already being on there. It doesn't even show that ever being off. I don't know, that doesn't seem like it fits down on there good at all. And it seems like it's hitting right on the top of where those threads are. So like it's not gonna go down any more than what it is. Maybe that goes that way. Ah, that goes that way. There we go. This just snaps on there. Then this part goes down on there. Then this little speed nut threads on there. We're making progress now. There we go. Then remove burner tube from lantern and install mantle on burner tube. Make sure bushing is seated into lantern. Big diameter up. Twisting motion to help install the mantle on the tube. So yeah, we got, apparently we put the mantle on the tube, then reinstall the burner tube and heat shield. Reinstall it, but there's no threads or anything on the bottom of it, so apparently it just sets down in there. Ah, that goes in there. Then that goes in there. We're making headway here, folks. So you take this out of here, put your tiny little mantle on there. There was a bushing that sits down in there that was not in there. That goes right down in there. I don't know if you have to have, I'll look at the instructions, see if it says that that has to be lined up close enough to jump a spark or what. I don't really know. This seems very chintzy. Let's continue putting it together though. If it works, it's going to be more of a novelty than anything else anyway. So it's something you use once. Maybe I'll take it up to the Coleman show with me this fall, because it's something I've never seen one burning before, that's for sure. Yeah, I think the rest of the instructions are pretty basic, so here. Burner tube goes in, heat shield will only fit in there one way. And it looks like, yeah, you have to put the burner tube in, then the heat shield, like it says in the directions. So let's open up one of these tiny little baby mantles. These are absolutely tiny. My guess is these things are not going to throw a ton of light. This is going to be like a Coleman lantern nightlight probably. So these mantles even say right on the package, push on. They got a little brass thing in there, and it's got like a little retention clip, and I think that clip slides up into that groove, so I'm guessing it's going to slide down on there and click in place. Let's see if we can get in close here. Yep.
I heard it.
And that's it. I'm not crazy about the way that mantle wants to hang either, but maybe once we burn it in. It's probably just been bent like that in the package for the last 30 years. Maybe once it burns in, it'll be better. So let's go ahead and drop this back down in there. Oh, by God, it does jump a spark over there. Huh. Maybe it's not as chintzy as I'm claiming it is. Leo's worried about it. He is whining and crying.
I wonder how you're going to get that metal shield over that mantle now.
Yeah, it's a high quality.
The whole thing split.
Yeah, it's a high quality setup.
All right.
You'll never be able to take this out once the mantel's burned in because, well, okay. Yeah, this is a pretty chintzy setup here, but let's get this. You got to get the little slot in there to go around the igniter that's standing up. And then you knock the whole thing out and start over again.
It's easier to put burner in first and poke that down through there.
But yeah, but it squeezes that shut, then you can't fit the
okay, I got
burner. So you got to get the burner in there and then get the heat shield slid down over that, and I think the heat shield then kind of squeezes and holds everything in place too. But it's like I said, it's pretty chintzy, but
maybe this is one of them things you use one time and throw it away.
it's about what it looks like in the picture. Jumps a spark. What more could you ask for?
Yeah.
Well, let's grab a lighter, burn in this massive mantle that's on here. I did not think that that was that torch lighter, or I wouldn't have grabbed that one. It'll probably work. Alright, let that burn in for a second. I'm not going to put the top and everything on there until we get this thing lit. Let's back the camera up just a little bit more here. Whoop. Okay. Once it's lit, this piece goes on the top. Yeah, the glass goes on. Then this goes on. Then the top goes on. There's a little, I don't know where that's supposed to go. A little plastic
Probably on top of that
piece.
top.
I think. I wonder if it was supposed to go way down underneath in the bottom somewhere, but it is. It's going to go by the wayside for right now.
Well, it probably shows you in there exactly where it goes. Maybe it's a gasket for the top of the fuel tank.
No, it doesn't show it at all. I'll bet it was supposed to be underneath all that stuff on the base, but I'm not taking it back apart to put it in there, so. If it blows up and kills us, y'all will know why. Alright, let's see here. It goes up in there, and then this little cap goes on the bottom and threads on there. Then the whole thing sits right down in that base. Let's turn the fuel to the on position and give it a couple clicks and see what it does. I can hear it hissing. Look at that. Look at that. Boy, she's an eye burner, that's for sure.
Right. Just ain't much of it.
That is pretty cool. So as much as I bitched about how chintzy it is, lit the first click.
You didn't even pump it up.
And I'm pretty sure it said operates up to 10 hours on one of those little cylinders, but I guess it's a tiny, tiny little mantle, so.
Yeah, there's not much light there.
Yeah. There's that. And then this piece slides down on there. I wonder if that's supposed to be that way. I'll bet that's supposed to be that way to hold that.
Hold the lamp or the glass.
Yeah, hold the glass so it can't rattle. It's an anti-rattle device there. Okay, yeah, the lid doesn't go down far enough for the threads to stick through, but this has a little piece that threads down inside of there, so. I can hear a very quiet little hiss from it. Thread that down. Look at that.
Ta-da!
This is Patio Light model 9980-750. I was looking to see if I saw a date anywhere on here, but my guess by looking at this would be from the 90s, but I really don't know that for sure. Maybe on these instructions, maybe there'll be a date somewhere on there. Oh, 2001. All the copyright things on the bottom of this say 2001. So yeah, that's about the time period of it. I'm not going to get them both going. I got one working, the other one I'll just put back in the package. There is another package of mantles, and they come with 2 mantles. And I've got another package of the mantles that I bought. So we've got plenty of mantles for them. And I guess if I did get, the people are making a little spacer so you can use a common small butane cylinder. I don't know, maybe I'll get it out and light it every now and again. It's working. Let's set that over here off to the side. Now let's see if we can get one of these two to work. They're French made. Lampe GT Gaz. It says Camping Gaz International. And from what I understand, there was just a few places in the United States that carried these and sold them. And I think that by looking at the packaging on these, I would say probably 80s. There's no instructions with these. I don't have a correct mantle even, but I have one that I think is close enough that I can make it work. That one's obviously been burned before. I guess I didn't even look to see if this one shows any signs of having been burned or not. Yeah, not as much. It does have some discoloration in there, but not as much. So I'd say this one's the less used of the two. You can buy these little lanterns pretty cheap. 20, 25 bucks on eBay. They're kind of a novelty thing because you can't get the right fuel canisters for them, and I paid more for a fuel canister than I did for these 2 lanterns together. Oh, that's what those little clips in there. There's little metal clips in there. They're to hold that securely in there. Yes. The fuel valve just slides side to side. It's got a plus and a minus on it. And it turns the whole assembly when you turn it. So you can see the whole burner and everything in there's turning when you turn that. This has got a piece of an old mantle down in there. Let's see if we can get that out. The mantle that I've got is, I'm pretty sure not correct, but I think it may be, I don't have my pocket knife. I lost my pocket knife somewhere. And I've reached for it about 10 times already today. Try to get what's left of this old mantle out of there. Let me see. I know that in my bag of mantles, I had a mantle that I thought would work on these. And it's right here. It's in with the spare mantles that I have for those little Coleman ones. I had already sorted them out and put them together one time. I'm pretty sure that these mantles are for a larger lantern than this, but they're the correct style, which is they tie at the top and the bottom. There's just little notches right there and right there, and I think that's where the strings have to tie. So I ought to be able to fumble with these for ages trying to get this tied on there. but I've got, these are Century Model 2295 slip-on double tie lantern mantles. Says fits Century, Sears, Hillary, Coleman, and other slip-on mantle lanterns. And these look pretty old, but they do look in the picture on the back like they're made to go over a burner, kind of similar to what this thing has. Let's clean a little bit of the soot out of there. I keep touching it and getting more of it on me here. Being that sooty is not a great sign. It doesn't mean that it was burning super clean and efficiently the last time it was burning. So I think these mantles are a little bit larger than what this is supposed to have, but hopefully when they burn in, they shrink up a little bit. I'm just going off of what it shows right there on the packaging. That's all I've got. It doesn't say what mantle to use on it, or if it does, it doesn't say it in English. There's a little bit of English instructions on here, but most of it's French. So we're going to give it a try. I also don't know, maybe this says if you're supposed to have the one side's pink and one side's blue. Does it say slide the mantle down over the perforated section of the burner, larger mantle opening downward. Attach the top and the bottom, distribute fabric evenly. Well, I would say that the pink side is the larger.
I would think so.
That's what it looks like to me. So yeah, I fumble around horribly putting a regular mantle on, so I'm gonna pause the camera while I do this, because not only do you have to tie that on there, you have to get in around this cage the entire time. Okay, well that took me like 5 seconds because literally they're already tied. They're tied at the top, they're tied at the bottom, you just slip it on there. So like I said, I don't know if this is the right size mantle for this or anything, but I'm gonna give it a try. And then if it works, I know Century Model 2295 slip-on double tie lantern mantle is what we need for this. So now I'm gonna burn that in, but I'm not gonna use that torch style lighter. I'm gonna use one with a less aggressive flame.
One of them's out of gas, so you might want to make sure.
Yep, this one works.
Yep.
So I'm gonna try to burn this in, then we'll put it back together and put one of these cylinders in and see if we can make this thing work or not. I have never burned in a mantle of this style before. I'm just going to keep the flame going around it like I do with all of them. We'll give that a few minutes. This guy's still just sitting over here doing good though. Doesn't put out a ton of heat or light. I wonder if... not really. It's not really adjustable. I didn't expect so. The knob moves about 3/4 of the way before it feels like it even does anything. So pretty flimsy chintzy setup. Okay, I don't know about this, but I do know that these cylinders have no kinds of connection. You screw them up in there, and when you screw this base on, there's a needle. Well, that was kind of neat. I wonder if that showed on the camera.
Finished up, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did. Huh. The mantle just kind of like a glow went all the way around it. So yeah, anyway, there's a needle that punctures the top of this, so I'm gonna clean off, because once this is punctured, there's just a gasket around there, and My guess is it's not going to hold tight and I'm going to leak out the rest of this fuel, but hopefully it leaks out slowly enough that I can still burn this for a while tonight. I'm pretty sure I read that this is supposed to burn for 6 hours on one of these. Let's clean up the top of this just a little bit, give it the best chance it's got to try to seal. But there's just a rubber gasket and then a needle that right down through there pokes a hole in there. And then I'm guessing when you slide this lever over that way, the needle comes up a little bit, and when you slide it back over this way, it goes back down and pushes back against the top of that, is my guess. So, there is no good place to get a lighter in there once that's lit. You have to take the glass out to light it, or maybe maybe you get a match in through the side there. Or yeah, I guess you open the lid and light it from the top. So let's try to slide this back down in here. I guess make sure I got it right side up. Yep, it does have a little logo on there. Put that towards the front. There we go, clips it in place. Top flips over like that. Let's try putting one of these probably 1980s fuel canisters in here. It does have a price tag on it. Big Five Sporting Goods, $1.59. So if any of you know where a Big Five Sporting Goods used to be, leave it down in the comments. I've never heard of that, but I kind of got the understanding that maybe these were sold like in the Northeast, which would be kind of like closer to Canada, French. I don't know. I really don't know. Slides
on that.
right down in there like that. This threads right up there.
Made in France.
Okay, it's still got a ways to thread up there and it's getting tight, so I'm guessing that the threading this together, that's what's gonna poke that needle down through there. I guess I could clean this up just a tiny little bit before I puncture it and get ready to light it. I got a lighter here, so yeah, I'm guessing once I thread this together, that needle's going to come up. I guess I could try to show you that real quick. The bottom's got an O-ring, and you can see the little needle right in the center. And that O-ring is shaped just like the divot in the top of that tank. So my guess is it's going to thread up there, it's going to puncture that. Tight. You don't hear anything hissing. I assume when I slide that over, it's going to start hissing and delivering fuel. I guess I can get the camera down there a little lower. It's going to start hissing and delivering fuel once I slide that over. So let's get maybe a lighter go right in through there. No. We'll just open the fuel and then stick the lighter right down through the top here. I hear it hissing. I don't have it all the way on high. Well, that's about as much as it's going to get, and I'm guessing it's because this mantle is probably larger than the mantle that's supposed to have. Let's close the lid, trap a little more heat in there. A little bit, it'll heat up a little more with the heat trapped in there now, but my guess is that's about as good as that's going to be, because it's probably supposed to have a significantly smaller mantle than that on there. But it's burning, lit right up. It's a little brighter on that side than it is on this side. And probably just the mantle is closer on that side. So there we go. We got two not very bright lanterns here. A Camping Gas International Lampe GT. I don't know, the mantle in the picture doesn't look significantly smaller than that.
I don't know.
Try working the fuel valve back and forth a few times. My guess is they weren't phenomenal lanterns,
No.
even when they were new. Well, I'm going to put the spare mantle that I got for this guy in this little bag here, and put the extra mantle that goes with that. Maybe I'll get on the Coleman Facebook group and see if anybody else knows what number would fit better on here. And who knows, it's entirely possible that that's not getting as much fuel as it's supposed to get. It's hard to say. But they are both functioning. That one's definitely putting out more heat than this little guy does. And we will give both of these a light up at home in the dark tonight. Let them burn out on the table outside for a little bit. But for right now, they're both burning, they're both working, they're both doing what they're supposed to do. I do feel like that one probably is supposed to have a slightly smaller mantle on it.
Much smaller, you can hardly get them on there.
No. I wonder if that one would even be better, even if I just had the mantle higher up on it, so it was centered a little better. I don't know, I might mess around with it a little bit more before I take it home and get a video of it in the dark tonight, but they are both doing what they're supposed to do, and I think that's pretty cool. Alright, I broke out the other one because I just didn't know. This one had so much soot on the bottom of the cap and everything, I didn't know if it was not getting the right air-fuel mixture. On this one, I made sure the mantle stayed bunched up better too, because I think that the bottom part of this mantle slipped out of the groove, went down farther than it was supposed to. I mean, that one's slightly better than this one, but
Not much.
they're pretty comparable. Actually, that one's not going to go much longer. That mantle is sliding down off of there as we speak. It's coming out of the groove. I got one more idea that I might try, because I'm not out anything. I might try putting just a standard Coleman mantle on there, letting it sit over the top of that, and then tying the stem around the bottom of it where it's supposed to go. Not going to be out anything. I'm out one mantle that I ruined on that, and these are mantles that came with a propane lantern that I bought that weren't even correct for that propane lantern. So I'll give that a try real quick just to see what happens. Well, that's the original style mantle, and that was brighter than the one on this one at first because I got that one to fit on there a little better. But this Coleman one that I just draped over the top and then tied into the groove on there definitely is brighter than that one. I don't know. We'll light all three of these up tonight at home I'm not gonna light that one again because I'm about got it cool enough to put back in the box. I'll have to shut these off and let them cool down now. We'll give them a try at home tonight in the dark. It is, I think, about 7 o'clock. Finally got good and dark out here. I've had those going since about 4:30-ish, maybe. Between 4 and 4:30. Burning good. They're sitting out here burning nice. They don't make a lot of light, but I don't think they ever were really made to be a powerhouse lantern pumping out a ton of light. Let's walk around the other side and look real quick. I think this is the one that's got the Coleman mantle. Turn it down a little bit. I think you can kind of adjust those. Like you could get a little bit of adjustment out of them, but they're not super duper bright. This is the one that's got that old mantle that I think was kind of the correct what they're supposed to have, but they have a little bit of adjustability to them. Make a pleasant little light. This one doesn't really adjust much. It goes pretty much from on to off. If you're real gentle, you can get a little bit of adjustment out of it, but they're pretty much made to be on. But make a decent little light out here. They're every bit as bright as if you had a wick lantern burning out here. I'll let them go a couple more hours before I shut them off and put them away tonight. Okay, folks, it's been a couple more hours. I don't know how long these fuel cylinders are going to last. Maybe I'll light these up again for a little while tomorrow night, because I assume that the little butane cylinders in these two gas lamps are going to leak down now that they're punctured. The only thing holding the fuel in is the rubber seal in there, so I'm guessing that they're going to eventually leak down, so I might as well burn them the next few nights until I burn all the fuel out of them. This one I can just pop the butane cylinder out of it and it shouldn't leak at all. So I'm going to get these shut down, put away for the night. Thanks for watching, folks. If you're enjoying the content we're putting out, like I say every week, the best way you can help support our channel is just to let the ads play when they come up. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, share the video. If there's someone you think might like this, share the video with them. And come on back next week. We'll have a video of something here for you to watch.